Berserk is finally back. Let's go! Chapter 377 just dropped. Well, I don't know if it's officially out or not, but I did get the raw scans and I am way too impatient to wait for the remade version. And I don't know how they managed to do it, but every single chapter of Berserk is just so perfect. Like, it's always only 20 pages or less, but it's so good every single time. But hello there, my Berserk diehards who say it's all worth the wait, knowing full well that is going to break your spirit one page at a time. And I too am one of them. It is me, Craze, the greatest critic and gamer in the world from Ronin Realm, and today we are finally talking about the greatest manga of all time. A manga that can never be surpassed by anyone. Suffering so good that despite giving depression in literally every single chapter and every single panel, we all come crawling back for a new chapter, and our love for the series and hate for the Falcon of Light is undying. The last time a new Berserk chapter came out was on 26th of April 2024, which is 6 months ago. The entire fandom has waited for so long, it is unreal, but turns out despite the long wait and just depression with every chapter, the love and hype for Berserk has not decreased even one bit. Ever since the death of one of the greatest mangakas of all time, Kentaro Miura sensei, every Berserk fan has just been at an all-time low, but thankfully for us, Miura sensei's best friend Koji Mori has decided to continue the legacy and the legendary story of Berserk, and although very slow, we are still getting new chapters. The story now is getting so fucking interesting. I am in absolute love. The beauty of Berserk is that this chapter was completely centered around politics and had nothing but leaders from here and there talk to each other, and I might be super partial towards Berserk. But even this chapter, which was all about politics, was so fucking good. And yes, we did see our boy, our love, the greatest fictional character ever, Guts, and although it was just for one single panel, seeing him just fills me with this undying sadness and depression every time. Guts was in this chapter for literally just one panel, and even in that one panel, he was suffering. Like, my man just can't catch a break, can he? Please give him some rest. It's too much. It's just way too much for my fragile heart. I will cry. I will be explaining what happened in the chapter, so spoiler alert, because I want to talk about what might be upcoming, and I can't talk about it without talking about what has happened already. So in the past 3 chapters, we see that there has been nothing but sadness and depression. Guts and his crew got taken in by Rickert and the Kushans, and even now, despite him having zero intention of even raising his sword, my man Guts is tied up because he is too dangerous. Like, let him just be, man. Please. Dude, every time I see Guts, my heart just crumbles. And one of the greatest things ever, which was revealed in the last chapter, was that the Kushans are actually preparing a war on the Falcon of Light. Like, holy shit, I am so excited for it. The only thing that I am scared about is that I hope Koji isn't rushing the story now because of all the pressure that's on him. Like, buddy, if you want, you can take 20 years. It's all good, but do not rush the greatest story ever written. This chapter opens with Rickert and Silat talking to the crew and telling them how Kushans live and everything about their lifestyle. One thing which caught me off guard was that Ishidoro doesn't even know what elephants are. Like, what? But I guess it kinda makes sense. Now, after the death of the last Kushan emperor, Ganishka, a new emperor has stepped up, and now they are holding a Kurultai council, which is nothing but a political conference of how to start the war and what to do in the war. There are multiple leaders there, like the leader of North, leader of South, the emperor, and Silat and Daiba. They ask Daiba what happened exactly, and he tells them how the falcon beat the shit out of Ganishka and made him the tree. Everyone is shocked by this, and then the fucking leader of North snitches on my boy Silat, calling him the Baki Raka leader, who are basically silent assassins of the Kushans. Snitches get stitches, dude. Like, never snitch on, and you know, you're not one of the boys if you snitch. Everyone else, like the sheep they are, collectively say that they should be kicked out, but the current emperor says that it's high time, and they can't be fighting amongst themselves. To everyone's shock, Silat goes forward and asks the emperor to make him the general who will lead the army against the Falcon of Light. And before the North bastard could reply, disaster strikes. But before that, if the war is going to happen right now, I am kind of worried because mentally, Guts isn't at his best. Actually, wait, never mind. No, that makes sense, yeah. But I feel like, and although I do have undying and unending hate for the Falcon, and I want him to be tortured to the lengths never seen before, I personally think that Guts isn't that powerful right now on his own, and I'm sure that Miura's Guts will never sacrifice anyone using the Behelit. I know that Koji has a chance of doing it. Koji might do it, But that won't be the original Guts, because Miura's Guts himself called the Behelit a magic stone that summons angels who grant powers to weak little humans. And Guts may be depressed and desperate, but he is not weak or a hypocrite. I think his power up is going to be something related to the dog in him, and I would love to see that. But every time I think of the ending of Berserk, my heart just drops. Because despite it being the greatest story of all time, and every day we fans wish for nothing but the happiness of Guts, Berserk is not a story that denotes a happy ending. Like, as much as I'd love for Guts to have a happy ending where Guts gets a nice happy family with Cascade, children, and he just living his life, you know, peacefully, it just doesn't fit the gruesome story of Berserk. I think and I hope from the bottom of my heart that I'm absolutely wrong, but I do think that just like life is for Berserk fans, Guts is subjected to eternal torment and something like a sacrificial ending. Of course, if that happens, my faith in humanity will be completely destroyed, but that's just how life is sometimes. And although I am super scared of it, I always think about it. Coming back to the chapter, turns out that remember the shapeshifter guy Rakshas? As shown previously, he works for the Falcon and he's doing so until he can take his head off. But right now, he comes out of the leader of the North, tearing through his body and blowing him up, and the last sentence of the chapter says, "The demonic invasion begins." Which I don't know if I want this to be the invasion like Elf Island or not, because please give my man a break, like holy shit. But if it really was the invasion like last time, it is so exciting and it is so amazing that I cannot wait. This is where the chapter ends, but don't worry, because according to reputable sources, the next chapter is coming out on November 8th and not like a 6-month hiatus like last time. So yeah, baby! That was all that was in the chapter. Like, I don't know how Berserk manages to make such good chapters every single time. It's mind-blowing. It's like the greatest story ever written and nothing can change that fact. I'm super excited for the next chapter and I cannot wait for what's to come. Now for what has happened, one of two things is going to happen. Either it is actually the invasion and Guts will soon start fighting, or it's just Rakshasa and he's either here to fight or negotiate. And either of those sound really exciting, but the first one is much more thrilling. Of course, I don't want it because just, dude, Guts, please rest. It's too soon to compare Koji's work to the GOAT Miura sensei, but he trusted Koji and all we can do is respect his wishes. The art is absolutely fantastic though, and it does not fail our expectations. I love Berserk so much that it's unreal. But that's really all that I have to say for today. I am very happy that the new chapter was out and it was a banger as always, but I'm completely depressed because, well, it's Berserk, you know, what else do you expect? Like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're brand new. That is all that I had to say for today. 1k likes and I will do a complete uncensored review of everyone's favorite family friendly anime, Overflow, and subscribe right now. How do we have less subscribers than the official One Piece English channel? Subscribe right now to crush them and show them who's better. Subscribe now and you might have a chance of seeing something happy in the next chapter of Berserk. Like seriously, I wish for that too. That is all. Level up quick and don't be a dick. See you next time.